to remember how to, remember the date. Welcome everybody to MS Office Hours. Today is Thursday, December 4th. My name is Heather Cox.
Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie Stevens.
We are so pumped to have Susie Tinker with us. She has got some planner and project management agents. This is something I know y'all have asked about. So, Susie, the show is all yours.
Fantastic. Thanks, Heather. Hey, everybody. My name is Susie. As Heather mentioned, I was on the Microsoft education team for the last 9 years. I've only been on the planner product team for the last 6 months, so it's a new space for me. But I spent 2 years as an account executive on the education team and the last 7 years leading customer engagement for Minecraft education. So my calls that I have with customers now are a little bit different because they're not like going like, oh my God, I can't wait to tell my kids that I talked to Minecraft today. They don't get the same excitement with planner and project. But anywho, it's been a fun change. I'm really excited to be back. I used to invite my customers in education to attend this call. So full circle moment, super excited to be here. I see Steve has put a question in the chat regarding planner and project. Unfortunately, it's just me today. So I'm going to have a hard time both getting through all of my content and answering questions. So I'm hoping to answer all questions that I can at the end, whether those are verbally or in the chat. So keep posting your questions that you have regarding planner and project there. And I can try to get to those at the end. And Heather or Stephanie, I'm pretty casual. So if there are burning questions throughout, feel free to interrupt me and we can handle those as we go. But I'm going to do a couple different things today. We are going to go through the evolution of the stack of products that Microsoft has for work and task management, because I hear you all talking about how confusing Microsoft licensing is. I think Planner and Project have the most confusing licensing scheme that I have ever seen, and I have had to learn so much over the last 6 months. So I am happy to talk you through what all these product names are, where we're going with Planner and Project Manager Agent, and hopefully drive some clarity there. And then we're going to get into some demos. So because I only have like 20 minutes, I'm going to do all pre-recorded demo videos. Otherwise, it'll take me way too long. I'm hoping to get into some roadmap items that we showed at Ignite a few weeks ago. But if we do run out of time, I have a link at the end to our Ignite session. And we have a lot of really fun and exciting updates with how we're bringing Planner, not just in the Planner app, but we're expanding all of our AI capabilities across the M365 stack with things like Copilot chat, bringing it to Outlook, and so much more. So that's what I'm planning on doing today. Would love to see in the chat if you're using Planner today to either manage personal tasks, if you manage any projects in there. Would love to just hear kind of how this audience is using Planner today. So before we get into demos, I'm going to do a brief history lesson of the evolution of Project and Planner and the overall project stack at Microsoft, because the naming conventions of our products are all so confusing. We are converging and retiring products to hopefully make that easier down the road. But we'll do a quick history lesson now. So second oldest product that Microsoft ever launched was in 1984 after Word. Word was the first one, was the Project Desktop Client. You can access the Project Desktop Client today with perpetual licensing. Your organizations might have on-premise licensing for Project Standard Pro, Project Desktop Standard, but you can also access it with your P3 or P5 license. So that might be, I believe, education doesn't have our P1 license, but you do have access to P3 and P5. I hope that's correct. But this is our legacy application. It's really meant for enterprise work management. It has any project management feature you could ever think of. That is what the Project Desktop Client is. And from there, we built Project Server. Think of it as a way that you can create Project Desktop MPP files and you can store those files in Project Server. Project Server is also a platform where you can do some of that more advanced work management like timesheets, portfolio management, resource management, etc. And then from there, Microsoft created a SaaS version of Project Server in 2013, which is known as Project Online. Again, the Project Desktop client is the main client for Project Online. You can save your projects to Project Online, but you can also access Project Online as another space to do that enterprise work management in the, says there, PWA, the Project Web App. And those applications are both SharePoint based. Okay, so that was the legacy products. And then we have Planner, and Planner has gone through a bunch of changes over the last few years. In May of 2024, I believe it was, we announced the new Planner. And what that was is it combined 3 different separate task management tools at Microsoft. It combined Microsoft To Do, Planner, and Project for the Web. So Project for the Web is no longer on this screen because we deprecated it and added all of that capabilities inside premium plans in Planner. Yes, Karen, that is how I feel right now as well. And so that is what the new Planner is. And when we think about the future of work management at Microsoft, and yes, Angela, I will get to that in a second with the retirement of Project Online. When we think about the future of project management at Microsoft, all of the innovation and everything we're doing with AI is going towards Planner. And so with that, just a couple months ago, back in September, we announced the retirement of Project Online. That will be retired in September of 2026. And any customers that need the functionality and features that Project Online gave, we're recommending to move to Project Server Subscription Edition, which is at parity with Project Online. So the last couple of things I'll say about Planner, and then we'll move on from our history lesson, is that Planner was never meant to be at feature parity with Project Online or Project Desktop Client. It just never will be, because Planner is our future modern AI-driven work management platform where we're really investing in AI to eventually be able to do some of these enterprise level project management tasks that Project Online and Project Desktop have done. So when you think about Planner, that is where all of the investment and innovation is going moving forward. Project Desktop Client is not going away, but those two will never talk to each other, and we have no plans to add any sort of AI innovation into the Project Desktop Client. Okay, that was fun. Fun history lesson. Talked a little bit about licensing there. I don't see any burning questions, so I'm going to move on into the meat of what I want to show you, which is where we are taking Planner and Project Manager Agent. So this is my only marketing jargony slide that I'm going to show you. But today there are 40 million professional project managers worldwide. And so that doesn't account for the 70 million informal project managers that there are. I would consider myself an informal project manager. And that means that about 25% of your organization manage projects to some extent, whether they are professional project managers or whether they are informal project managers. And we believe that with Copilot, with everything happening with agentic AI, we can build these experiences into Planner and into work management to support all of the project management needs there will be moving forward. And so this feature, the Project Manager Agent, has been available for some time. It is still in public preview today. We announced this at last year's Ignite, and so this was the second year building upon all of the investments we've been making with Copilot and Project Manager Agent in Planner. So what Project Manager Agent is it is a project management assistant to automate and help push your work forward in Planner and across the M365 stack. We'll talk about our Copilot integrations that we announced at Ignite a little bit later. But everything that I'm going to show you in our demos today will only need an M365 Copilot license to access. You do not need a premium Planner license. You don't need a P1, a P3, or P5. You only need access to basic Planner, which everyone in your organization should have with an M365 or Office 365 license, and then an M365 Copilot license. I don't have a timeline for when we think Project Manager Agent is going to come out of public preview. We keep saying soon. So that's all I can tell you today. So we're going to jump into an overview of Project Manager Agent in Planner, in Teams meetings, and in Teams channels. Every feature I'm about to show you is publicly available today in public preview. The first demo we're going to look at is the functionality only in the Planner app, which you can access either in Planner in Teams or in the Planner web app. I personally use Planner in Teams all day, every day, but a lot of people prefer the Planner web app as well. And Karen, no, that licensing did not actually. That it did change. So actually what it was prior to a few months ago is it was included in a premium license with a P3 or P5, and you didn't need to have a Copilot license. Now all you need to have is just that Copilot license. So yes, it did change a few months ago, but that was what it should be moving forward. I can't say with certainty because it is still in public preview, so it could change when it ships, but I don't foresee that happening. Great question. I appreciate you asking that. Okay, so we are going to go into a demo of different functionalities. Yes, Andrew, really, I will hammer that home one more time. Everything that I'm about to show you, every single one of you should have access to if you have an M365 Copilot license. You do not need to have any sort of Planner Premium license to do anything that I'm about to show you. It's like a magician. Okay, we're going to look at a couple different features in this demo. I'm going to talk you through them as we go through them. If any of you do end up watching our Ignite session, these are the actual demos from our Ignite session. So you will see Robin, our product manager, do them probably a lot better than I would, but you guys are stuck with me for today. Okay, I'm going to answer one more question. Will they work with Planner Premium plans that are stored in the Dataverse? Mark, yes. So all premium plans are stored in the Dataverse today. Basic plans are stored in the Planner store. Premium plans, the data is stored in the Dataverse. So you can actually access and manipulate that data in the Planner Power app. But it does not affect anything having to do with what I'm about to show you in Copilot. Okay, I'm going to get back to any questions so we can jump into this because I know I'm going to run out of time for most of the stuff I want to show you. I'm always overly ambitious. Okay, this is inside Planner. So I am on a product team called the Trainer Mat, and we are building a new product, and this is our marketing plan. So inside Planner, I have created a brand new plan with Project Manager Agent. There is nothing in it. So we are going to use Project Manager Agent to create tasks for us based on goals we have. So the first goal I'm generating here is to successfully market Trainer Mat and achieve 10,000 sales within the first 3 months of launch. And what I'm doing is I am adding grounding files that are available in the Office 365 SharePoint group that I've added to this plan. So Project Manager Agent can be grounded in everything that we want it to be to create this task, to create documents and outputs that we are going to ask it to do a little bit later. So we have added grounding files. I also have web grounding turned on and SharePoint grounding turned on. So it has access to other documents within that Office 365 group as well. And that you will see here, Project Manager Agent created an initial task list for us based on the information that was in those grounding documents that I added. So we have initial task list. That's fantastic. You will also see in the bottom right-hand corner, I had that floating purple button. That is what used to be just called Copilot Chat. You can think of it as Copilot Chat in Planner. We call it the Project Manager Agent chat experience. Again, this is a private chat experience that you have with Project Manager Agent inside this experience. And what I just did is I asked it to create subtasks for task number 2, which was to create a comprehensive product messaging and brand voice strategy. So Project Manager Agent added subtasks on my behalf, which is fantastic. I can see those there. And I also added Project Manager Agent to that task. I actually assigned Project Manager Agent to that task, which was to research competitor messaging and positioning. That seems like a task that would be great for a web search. Project Manager Agent will be great at doing that on my behalf. In board view here, you can see that that task has been assigned to Project Manager and it is actively working on it. Okay, this is going faster than I usually talk through, so I'm going to speed up my voice. The last thing that I'm going to show you, and then we'll jump back when that output is ready for us to review, is status reports. Everyone hates doing status reports for project management. We have simplified this by being able to have Project Manager Agent create a status report on our behalf. All I did was give it a time period, which was the last week. I gave it a simple prompt, was to create an overview for leadership. And then I can see I went back, was doing some other work. I'm pinging some of my colleagues, and I got a task directly in Teams that Project Manager Agent had some work for me to review. So now we're going back to the task execution example of generating that competitive analysis. And you can see that Project Manager Agent has completed a full competitive analysis for TrainerMat. It includes a lot of different information around my competitors, and it has all of those references there at the end of information that it pulled from across the web. This is a fantastic start. This would have taken me an hour or more to do on my own, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that as complete. And then I believe what we're about to go do is go check on our status report. So you can see here that task has been marked as complete in the ready for review column, which is fantastic. So that was the first output that Project Manager Agent created in that loop component there for anyone to edit. And here is our draft status report, which is ready for our review. So you can see here there are some different charts that it creates. It has a nice timeline or Gantt style chart view. It has different updates around tasks that were completed, things that are a work in progress, upcoming action items, etc. And this also looks good. I'm ready to share this out. I can actually elect to share this as a SharePoint newsletter. And it will open it up as a nice template already formatted that I can post to SharePoint or go ahead and send that out to my group via email. So that was extremely fast and furious. When I'm doing this for customers in a demo, it takes me like a full hour to walk through all of this functionality, but there's a lot that I wanted to show you today. Again, please put any questions you have in the chat, but these were the main features inside of Planner. We have task creation based on goals. We have task execution where you can actually assign the Project Manager Agent work and it will create outputs in a loop component, and then status reports, which is also completed in a loop component and able to share via a SharePoint newsletter. Okay, has anyone been tracking any burning questions in the chat that we want to go through before I jump into my next part of the demo? Can you have the agent use a specific form when doing the project status reporting? Paula, fabulous question. Not today, but it is absolutely something on our roadmap to ground the agent that's working on status reports on a specific template that your organization uses. We also, I work with a special community of project managers that have given us some really cool best practice prompts. I don't believe there's a character limit in the actual prompt part for the status report, so you can get as granular and specific as you want when trying to ask it what you want it to include in that status report. But we've gotten that feedback a lot about being able to ground that agent in a specific project status report template. So thanks for that question. Andrew's talking a little bit about Jira. Jira is a similar product to what we use internally here at Microsoft ADO or Azure DevOps. And I wouldn't necessarily say Planner is a replacement for all scenarios where Jira or ADO is appropriate, but if I have time to get to it, I will show you how we are building Jira, ADO, and other third-party product connectors into Copilot to be able to assess risks and updates across both Planner and other external tools like Jira. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Heather or Stephanie, if you guys see anything else that you'd like me to address, feel free to interrupt me as I'm going. But the next thing I want to show you, again, this is available today, is the Project Manager Agent in Teams meetings. And this one is a little, it's not as obvious because we are using the facilitator agent, and the facilitator agent works with Project Manager Agent in the background to connect what it's doing into Planner. So I think facilitator is turned on for this meeting. I'm going to show you a pre-recorded meeting and how facilitator agent can actually connect work to the back end of Planner. So this is a meeting where we are discussing the launch event for the trainer mat. And so a couple of my colleagues are on this call and we're discussing logistics for the launch event day. And in the chat, we're discussing a task that needs to be tracked closely, but we don't have a task for it yet in Planner. So what I can do is I mentioned facilitator and I asked it to create a task to finalize and publish the registration page. Then I'm going to ask it to assign the task to Susie, and this was fun at Ignite because my name got to be up on the big screen. And we asked the facilitator agent to assign the task to Susie, and it's updated the task. So when we go back into Planner in a little bit in this demo, we will see how that task has been added to Planner. So now Susie will know that she needs to follow up on this task, even if she was not in the meeting, and it will ensure that the task shows up in her My Tasks list. Okay, I'm going to pause this for a second because it's getting a little bit ahead of me. So now what we're going to do is when you have added facilitator to your meeting, Eric, when will facilitator come to channel meetings? I'm going to get to channels in a little bit and then let's circle back to that. When you have facilitator turned on in a meeting, it is proactively capturing tasks. Like if we were to go into notes right now in this meeting, I'm curious if anything has popped up yet, but it would be proactively capturing tasks that you can then open up in Planner. So what you're seeing right here was every task. I'm going to back this demo up a tiny bit. We asked facilitator agent to Actually, I don't think we asked it to do anything. We just went and looked at all of the tasks that it had captured throughout our meeting because we had been discussing a bunch of different things that needed to be done for the launch event. And I can see that those are all captured in Planner. So a plan had been created for this meeting. You can see that little sparkle icon that indicates that all of those tasks were captured with Project Manager Agent. So we did not have to take notes. We didn't have to, after the meeting, go back and make sure all of those tasks were captured. Project Manager Agent did that on our behalf. Now let's ask the facilitator agent to actually get to work for us. We also talked about the agenda for the launch meeting. So we asked the project manager agent to create an agenda for the meeting based on everything that we've talked about, and it did that. Now we're going to ask it to actually create a draft document of the launch event walkthrough. Create the details to create the draft. And so here's the draft agenda. Now we're going to put PMA to work with actually creating a document with all of the information that was discussed in this meeting verbally. Draft up our marketing plan based on the details we discussed today. That was as simple as the prompt was. Now the facilitator and project manager agent on the background are working on that draft. And that has saved me a ton of time because now I don't have to create that document myself. I've had it done for me. So again, this opens up in a loop component. This actually opened up into loop. Unlike in Planner, we were just accessing it in the Planner interface. So here I have all of the details that we talked about during the meeting, all captured for us on our behalf. Okay. So this is how, using Facilitator Agent, you can connect anywhere you're working, whether you're working in a Teams meeting, we'll look at Teams channels in a second, anywhere you're working, Project Manager Agent will follow you and help you capture all of your work and make sure it is represented in Planner. Okay, the last thing we're going to look at, and I knew I was going to run out of time to look at fun stuff that's coming, but we are going to look, actually, we're going to skip Teams channels, just because I want to show the Copilot demo that we announced at Ignite, and that's where I will end. When will Facilitator come to channel meetings? So Eric, Facilitator, okay, I'm gonna pause on that question actually one more time. I'm gonna jump to the roadmap and then we'll go back to that. Can Susie come back again? I would love to come back again. I always do this. I always schedule way too much for myself and then run out of time. So this is our updated roadmap. I want to focus on what is on the right-hand side. So I said at the beginning of the presentation, we are starting to bring Project Manager Agent, not just in Planner, not just in Teams meetings, not just in Teams channels, but also across Copilot, because we know that's where a lot of people are starting their day and actually starting their workflows. Next week, maybe Heather, maybe, we'll see. I want to show you specifically how we're thinking about bringing the Project Manager Agent to M365 Copilot. And really, like, this is just the beginning of what we're planning to do with Copilot and Project Manager Agent. This demo here specifically is going to show the talk track would be something like, I have so many emails. I have thousands of emails I haven't caught up with. Please give me a list of all of the important tasks, summaries, and due dates that I should be focused on based on what I have in my email. And then it creates this list and I say, hey, Project Manager Agent, I just summoned our declarative agent of Project Manager Agent. And I say, add these tasks that you just outlined to Planner. So what this is doing is it's taking all of these tasks that it's just outlined as important for me to focus on, and I can now go into Planner and track those as personal tasks in my to-do or private tasks view. And again, I say this is just the beginning, because what we are planning to do with this is we want people to be able to ask Copilot for portfolio analysis across all of my plans. So, you know, hey, Project Manager Agent, which tasks across all of my plans are at risk for meeting the deadlines next month? Or can you create a report for me on my resources and how they're being utilized across my entire portfolio? So we're really looking to expand this from not just task management, personal task management, but how organizations, how can teams, how can informal project managers who are overseeing various projects, how can they get insights across everything that's going on with just through Copilot, with Planner acting as the back end. So Heather, I knew I was going to do this. I knew I was going to run out of time. I had like 3 other things I wanted to show.
Well,
I'm happy to stay
if
on
you are
and look through some
free,
comments.
then we'll happily take you next week.
Hey, what I would say is, so all of this is brand new to me and my team as of Ignite. Our roadmap come January is going to be a lot cleaner, and I'm going to be able to deliver actual demos that aren't videos once this stuff starts rolling out to my tenant. I would love to come back, but I say like end of January, February would be a great time frame, because like I said,
perfect.
this is just the beginning and we'll have a lot more to show in the new year.
See, this is, see, I don't know, Tinker with Planner is session 2. See, this is why this group is so great, because they know we're naming things, we're coming up with stuff. Susie, phenomenal. And
Thank
again,
you.
like KJ said, I'd rather better too much information than too little. So we will happily take you up on you coming back late January, early February. You just tell us what Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern, works for you. We would love to have you back. But thank you so much. What I'll do is I'll stop the recording for now. If there are questions that are in the chat and Susie has some time, I'm sure she'll throw some answers in there. But yeah, let's just plan on seeing her again soon. and I will get the recording posted. I've got to get on another call, but I will get the recording posted while I'm, there. I'll multitask for this team. And thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful, well, we'll see you next week. I was going to say have a wonderful holiday, but we'll see you next week. So have a wonderful weekend. And yeah, we will see Susie in the new calendar year. So thank you, everybody.
Awesome.
Have a great night. I'm going to kick you all out so you can go about your day.
Thank
Bye,
you for having me,
everyone.
everybody. Thanks.
See ya.